And welcome back here to Gallagher's Grip. This is your host, Daniel Gallagher, coming to you live here in the south side of Chicago, where we love being alive, we love being free, and we certainly love being Republicans. There is no doubt about that. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be talking about the scene that happened at the Coldplay concert. Now, I want you to envision this. The sky is beautiful. The stars are shining. Your company most likely has a box at the stadium. You get all excited. You're all worked up. It's your favorite band, and you're going there. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, your favorite song comes on, and you find yourself with a lady who allegedly is your lady friend who works in the same company that you do, and you find yourself on the Jumbotron in front of, I don't know, 80,000 people. At this point, it's hundreds of millions of people, and you find yourself in a position where you're ducking, you're jiving, you are running for cover because it was a holy moment. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, you got to put yourself in their shoes for a moment. And of course, us being Americans, we all judge to conclusions. We all say he's a liar, he's a cheater, he's a scumbag, he's this, that, blah, blah, blah. And as I always say, we don't know the real facts. We see a man up in a box dancing with a girl. That's all we know. And we don't really know anything more than that. Let's be honest. You know, there's always two sides to the story here. I did read in the news that he tendered his resignation as the CEO of the company. I believe it's called Astronomer. Yes, Astronomer. Holy moly. What a moment in time. Will you never forget that? And then how do you go to your next job? I was the guy that was up there hugging my HR rep and my I was broadcasted on the Jumbotron, and hundreds of millions of people and social media have now seen me, and I will probably be taglined as that man for the rest of my life. But we got to be objective here. We can't just all automatically jump to the conclusion that this man was a liar, was a cheater. I read all these comments, and my God, every single comment is so negative. Every single comment just tears apart and rips and shreds. What is it about Americans? What is it about us? Why do we love just tearing people apart? Does it make us feel good? Does it make us feel better inside that we have the ability to basically share our most ridiculous feelings online in a public platform, knowing that it's not going to be seen really by the general public or tagged to your face? Look, it's funny. Okay, it's funny. We all know it's funny because, oh my God, could you imagine being put in that position? Well, you would try not to put yourself in that position, first and foremost. But, if they handled it a different way, and there was some sort of AI replay creation of them dancing, and the AI caption actually said it could have went this way, where when they saw themselves on the Jumbotron, all they had to do was remove their arms and just continue dancing. Now, that I believe is the case. Look, here's the reality. The Jumbotron was directly on them, and they absolutely freaked out, and to the point where he dives to the floor. She turns around, and it was those actions that highlighted this entire moment and nothing more, really. Two adults dancing at a concert. Yes, he was married. We're learning some things. We do get it, but I actually feel somewhat sad for him because we do not know the truth. Everybody is jumping to conclusions, but we really don't know the real truth. Again, speculation, jumping to conclusions. He did, tender his resignation, but how could you not? I mean, all of a sudden you find yourself as the face of social media. I mean, oh my God, could you imagine that? I mean, could you imagine being in that position? Again, not trying to laugh, but holy moly, and all of a sudden, boom, you're there. You might be looking to the right, you might be looking to the left, and then all of a sudden your face comes center and you look up and you are there. And could you imagine the heart palpitations that they've experienced from that millisecond on? I have to feel for them just a little bit, but my Lord have mercy. Could you imagine that? It is, but it is like Americans to jump to conclusions. And the reality is that, I feel bad. I do feel bad, for the circumstances that they find themselves within. But I am not for cheating. I am not for doing what he allegedly was doing, which is a guy who was married with kids at home. He's at a concert with some girl that he's allegedly having an affair with, because that's all that is being discussed right now. And man, I keep on saying, whoa. Why don't we just give the man a chance? Why can't we just give him a chance and figure out what the deal really is? Maybe he hates his wife. Maybe his wife hates him. Maybe they're in a relationship where they have to be in the relationship for the benefit of the children. Oh, don't stay in a relationship because of the children. Do you realize how many millions of Americans are married today? Just and only for the children to experience a mother and a father, or a home that that is technically considered to be a one. Okay, a home that is together, right? I mean, millions of Americans are married for all the wrong reasons. Let's be honest. But, we don't know if his wife knew about this particular situation. We don't know. I mean, we're reading in the press, we're reading all the papers, we're reading all the stories. Oh, she threw his stuff out and this and that. We just don't know, at the moment. But I just can't imagine being that man in that moment at a concert that he was so looking forward to seeing, being captured and caught the wrong moment. Talk about a karma situation. Talk about, my Lord have mercy. But this man had the most expensive concert that he will ever go to or ever see in the history of his life, because his brain, the second he saw himself on the Jumbotron, said, "Holy shit," as he jumped down to the ground to avoid it. Again, I mean, I'm telling you, folks, you see things on social media and it some of this stuff just really blows your mind. But this particular story has been highlighted across the world simply because of their reaction to when they saw themselves on the Jumbotron. And their reaction was, we got caught. Not only did we get caught dancing together, we got caught in front of 80,000 people, which is now about, 200 million people across the globe, and plastered all over social media. Sometimes I love social media, and I love the people that create these little skits on TikTok. I love what people do from the creative side, because, candidly, it is funny. It's very, very funny. All I'm saying to you guys is that we don't really know the facts behind the entire story. Give the guy a little bit of a chance. Give the guy a little bit of a break until this all really does come out. Yes, it does seem that he was having some sort of inappropriate scenario there, without question, and that does go to the fact that he did dive to the ground and try to avoid, 80, 90,000 people. But come on, Americans, we're we're better than this. We can just give the situation a little bit of the benefit of the doubt until we really know otherwise. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I think that man, because nobody really knew who he was. You look at him walking across the street. I don't think anybody would really recognize that he's a CEO of some data company. But it just seems like it was coincidence, or it just seems like it was really a timed event, if you will. As the second the arms wrapped around that body, there's the Jumbotron, and holy moly, folks! What an unbelievable moment! And candidly speaking, I feel for them. And if it is a situation where it was a situation where he was doing inappropriate things in an inappropriate scenario, then, I feel for the wife and the children, because I do believe that is uncalled for. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, it's just, to me, it's amazing what happens on a daily basis out there. I read all the news. I read all the current news and the events. And I have to say, this week, that absolutely topped everything that we're talking about here in Gallagher's Grip. And, look, I know a lot of these shows are political. I know a lot of these shows could come across as a negative type scenario. We do funny things. This is a show that represents the American people and the events and situations that they go through and experience. Just like what I went through and experienced, as I was growing up. So for the American person, and, let's just give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here and see how this thing plays out here in the next couple of days.